Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today we're doing something really exciting. We're diving deep into the hidden mechanics of the stock market. We're essentially pulling back the curtain on the whole financial world and transforming those complex, honestly, kind of intimidating concepts into a super clear, actionable roadmap for your financial freedom. So whether you're just starting to think about your future or you're already in the game and looking to sharpen your edge, you are absolutely in the right place. Let's get right into it. So I want you to imagine something for a second. Picture a massive pile of your hard-earned cash just sitting in a completely dark, locked room. It feels incredibly secure, right? I mean, nobody can touch it. But what you don't see is this silent, relentless thief named inflation. And every single second, this thief is just constantly eating away at the actual purchasing power of your savings. To defeat this silent thief and build true, lasting wealth, we absolutely need a plan. So here is our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the silent thief, slicing the company pizza, whales and sectors, measuring value and risk, smart alternatives, and finally, execution and discipline. Section 1, the silent thief. Let's start with a pretty harsh truth about that thief we just talked about. If you are simply holding on to cash, just hoarding it in a regular savings account, history shows us that you are fundamentally losing the wealth game. Because thanks to inflation, uninvested cash is slowly but surely turning into trash. True wealth, it isn't made by just saving. It's made by investing. And that brings us to the ultimate wealth creation engine in human history, which is the stock market. Now, it's not just some wild casino of flashing numbers, it is an incredibly powerful tool. Historically speaking, the stock market has delivered this amazing average annual return of about 10%. That mechanism right there, that is exactly what separates the wealthy from everyone else. Moving right along to Section 2, slicing the company pizza. Let's break this down. What actually is a stock? It sounds super complicated, but let's use a really simple analogy. Think of a massive, multinational company as a giant, delicious pizza. When you buy a single share of stock, you are quite literally buying a single slice of that exact pizza. You aren't just buying a piece of paper, you are actually becoming a part owner of that living, breathing business. But why do companies even sell their pizza slices to begin with? Well, they need money. They need it to build new products, pay down their debts, or just expand their empire. So they sell slices to the public. And doing that math gives us what's called market capitalization. You literally just multiply the total number of shares out there by the price of one single share, and boom, you have the true total value of the entire company. To really put this epic scale into perspective, let's look at a tech giant like Microsoft. You might think, oh, they probably have a few million shares floating around. No way. Microsoft's pizza is sliced into over 7.5 billion individual shares. So when you buy just one, you own a tiny yet highly valuable fraction of that massive technological empire. Section 3. Whales, sectors, and diversification. Now, think of the stock market as this massive, turbulent ocean. And naturally, not all the companies swimming around in it are the exact same size. And they definitely don't carry the same amount of risk. You really need to know what kind of fish or, mammal you're swimming with before you just jump right into the water. So looking at market cap, over on the left we have our large cap whales. These are companies worth over $10 billion. Think Johnson & Johnson or Pfizer. They're steady, they have super long track records, and they often pay you a dividend, which is basically like getting rent money just for owning them. Then in the middle, you've got mid-cap companies that are still growing. And way over on the right, the small caps. These are thrilling, but honestly incredibly dangerous. High risk, but massive, massive potential if they actually succeed. But look, it's not just about a company's size, right? It's about what they actually do. These businesses operate within 11 distinct sectors. We're talking information technology, healthcare, energy, financial services, the whole shebang. These sectors are the essential cogs and wheels that actually drive the entire global economy. From Apple to Tesla, every single company fits somewhere right in here. Section 4, measuring value and risk. Okay, before you even think about putting your hard-earned money into this massive machine, we really have to confront a word that terrifies even veteran investors, and that word is risk. There's this idea out there that the stock market only goes up. Let me tell you, that is a complete, total myth. The market falls, and sometimes it falls really hard. You're basically facing 3 specific types of dangers here. First up is systematic risk. Just think back to the total economic meltdown of 2008 where everything tanked. Then there's liquidity risk, which we'll dive into in a second, and finally, concentration risk. This is exactly what it sounds like, putting absolutely all of your financial eggs into one single highly fragile basket. I absolutely love this analogy from our source material to explain liquidity risk. Imagine you own this massive, highly valuable warehouse, but it's sitting smack in the middle of a remote cornfield. Sure, on paper, it's worth a total fortune. But if you need cash tomorrow and there are absolutely zero buyers around, well, that value is completely useless to you. Believe it or not, that exact same thing can happen with certain stocks too. So how do you actually protect yourself from all this? You've got to do a little financial detective work. Enter the PE ratio, or price-to-earnings ratio. This is such a vital tool. It shows you exactly what price you are paying today in exchange for the actual real-world profits a company is generating. Basically, it tells you if a company's management is truly turning lemons into lemonade, or if they're just sitting idle while charging you a massive premium. Let's see how this shapes our understanding of value today. Historically speaking, a PE ratio of 15 was considered a really fantastic traditional value. But look at the modern market. We regularly see high-growth tech companies sitting at a PE of 36. And this forces you, as the investor, to make a tough call. Are these companies wildly overpriced, or are they just packed with an immense amount of future potential? Section 5. Smart Investing Alternatives. Now, I know exactly what you might be thinking. Staring at PE ratios and acting like a Wall Street detective for individual stocks sounds like a full-time job. And honestly, it kinda can be. But if that isn't your vibe, don't worry. There are some incredibly powerful protective shields you can use to navigate the market without having to pick individual winners and losers. Let's compare two of the major alternatives here. On one side, we have mutual funds. Now, these are managed by highly paid active professionals, but they come with very high fees. On the flip side, we have ETFs and index funds. These guys simply copy the entire market passively. They have incredibly low fees, and, fascinatingly enough, over the long haul, these passive funds historically beat the high-priced professionals. It's a real game changer. And hey, if you're someone who loves tangible assets, things you can actually see and touch, let me introduce you to REITs, or real estate investment trusts. This is just a brilliant instrument. It allows you to gain fractional ownership in massive shopping malls, towering office spaces, and commercial real estate completely hands-free. You literally never have to buy or manage the entire building yourself. Section 6, Execution and Market Discipline. All right, we have finally reached the final trial of your financial journey. You know what a stock is, you know the risks, you know the vehicles. Now, it all comes down to actually executing the trade and, perhaps the hardest part of all, surviving your own psychology. When it's actually time to buy, you've got a choice. You can use a market order, which basically means you strike immediately, buying the stock right now at whatever the current price happens to be. Or you can act like a patient hunter, lying in wait. You set a limit order, deciding the exact price you are willing to pay, and you just let the market drop to you. Here is a crucial point to remember. Building wealth isn't just about what you make, it is absolutely about what you keep, because taxes will eat into your wealth. If you buy a stock and sell it in under a year, the government is going to take a heavy short-term cut. But if you hold on to those shares for over a year, the law actually rewards your patience with a significantly lower tax burden. So yeah, patience literally pays. But ultimately, your biggest enemy in this entire wealth creation journey isn't a lack of raw intellect. It's not about failing to find the perfect PE ratio. No, it is FOMO, the fear of missing out. The stock market is the ultimate test of emotional discipline. If you let FOMO take the wheel, you are going to find yourself buying absolute garbage at record high prices just because everybody else is doing it. You've got to keep those emotions in check. We have covered a massive amount of ground today, and I really want to leave you with this one thought. The stock market bell may ring and the trading floor might close for the day. But money? Money never sleeps. It constantly flows toward the places where it is most respected and understood. Today, you've seen the silent thief eating away at your savings. So you really have to answer this final question. Are you going to spend the rest of your life simply working for money, or will you finally make your money work for you?